Going on, fellas? Geronimo 22. We back with part two of my studies in quarters coverage. So let's continue off where I left off with talking about bunches, box coverage, and how it's going to play out this year. I didn't get a chance to get into this a little bit, and I'm going to try my best to do it now. But what I've noticed in the game is that the corner and the safety are playing man match principle. So they're basically locking one and two unless something happens, right? So in the current Madden, it's the opposite. It's really more play your zone until somebody comes into your zone, and when they do, you match man it. You basically take them as they come. So that's that's the generic way of playing it. Pretty much everybody's taught that from the beginning. The one thing I wanted to talk about is routes that get down the field that will potentially give you some trouble, but will the game switch down the field? So let's talk about that. All right. So let's go into. Let me get back into good old bunch Y flex, right? And this goes back to the first video that we talked about. So let's talk about the dagger play. So anybody who knows Madden, this is a beater. Let me just move it back a little bit here. Hold on one second. This is a beater right now in the current state of the game. And we talked about it because it's really three verticals coming out of this bunch formation, right? We have one running, one being the most outside guy to the right of the screen. He's running a dagger, a dig. Two's running a vertical, and three's running like that in between, in no man's land type of over route. So that's eliminated in new Madden. That's not a big deal. But this safety right here in old Madden, like we talked about, sees that as a threat, and he will jump that and leave number two going vertical. So going back to what new Madden potentially will do is this. They're going to basically, three is not a problem. One and two is who we're focusing on right now, okay? So the corner, his responsibility is one. So initially, one goes down the field. I got him man-to-man, which would be number 11, Brandon Ayuk. The safety, he's watching Debo, number 19. He goes down the field. I got him man-to-man. But once they get deep down the field, about maybe 10 to 12 yards, there is an option for them to switch. So what I've noticed is if the two receivers switch, so let's say one comes under number two, which is what's going to happen in this example, then the two DBs will switch. This DB on the inside switch down the field late, right? And he'll take that dig that's coming to him, and the corner will go back and play the vertical route. So that's what's happening down the field. If something was to happen under 10 yards, just lock your man. Just stay on your original guy. So that's what's happening in the new Madden. Now, as we watch this play with the old Madden, we know it's a busted play. We know most likely this play is going to be a one-play touchdown most of the time. Sometimes in practice mode it's a little bit funky. But we know from our match coverage, this is a problem. Let me just look at it one more time. Let the computer run this play. I don't know why the computer's playing it perfectly right now. That's a little bit different. Usually, this guy is wide open. I'm pretty sure I have match on. Let me just check it one more time here. This is old Madden. This is Madden 23, obviously. Right? And that's what happens. So you get that kind of like funky look. That safety gets kind of caught in no man's land. Again, practice mode always gives you a little bit of a different results than it does in the game. But this is the result you get a lot. And people who know this will run this play versus quarter coverage guys and try to beat them. But what's happening now, like I told you, is that these two guys are locking one and two. And then if they get down the field like this and there's any type of switch, and this is a really tough play because one is working what? He's working outside. Like he's getting that spray release, they call it, out to the top of the numbers. Gives a lot of space between one and two. And basically right now he's going to, it's hard. In real life, I would never tell my players to switch this. But in the programming of Madden, they're going to switch it because what's happening? One and two is switching. One is coming under two. So basically the corner is going to climb up now in the new Madden and climb up to this guy. Also, he gets a lot more depth in his drop, so he's not like so close to the line of scrimmage. At least from the initial standpoint, he gets more depth with more speed. And then the safety's going to do what? He's going to watch for the new number one, new number two coming in, and he'll sit there. It kind of stops this play a little bit. I think it's going to be, people are going to try it, and they're going to get, a good corner that's going to make an interception and a go ball, and that's how it happens. But what I'm trying to tell you is that they are playing with those man principles to start, but as they get down the field, they do have the ability to switch. This switch concept is used in other sport, like other positions. A lot of times, if you play cover one, you will have this happen with like a linebacker and a safety, or a player playing like the middle hole player in cover one. If you call one hole, and let's say the running back flares out, let's look over here. Like let's say the running back was to flare out to the flat, and the tight end was to come under. Then they would have something called bingo, right? They would switch. It's a call in football where you play man to man first, but if for some reason your man goes behind another, you can switch with the opposing with your corresponding defender, as long as you guys are on the same page, right? You guys alert for it before the snap, and that's what's happening here with the corner and the safety and the new Madden. So let's look at one more example of this real quick, and it will be just the opposite. Two's going to go out, one's going to go vertical. Okay, so let's take a look at this. So we'll see out a bunch formation again. We're in box coverage because this is where this is where things are changing right now. Things are changing with that corner and that safety and how they're playing it in Madden 24 based on the beta version. All right, so let's just take a look at this play. I'll let it run. Two's going to run out and one's going to run vertical on this switch. Right now in regular box, it's so easy. I mean that's what this year's game gives you. It gives you that beautiful guys are playing with zone eyes and they're kind of seeing more than one player, and they can easily make this switch, and this play is dead, right? What's going to happen in Madden is these guys are going to play with it's going to look similar, right? And what's going to happen is the corner is going to he's going to start running with one, right? He's going to look like he's covering one, and then he's going to speed turn, which is a full 360 turn coming back to number two. And he's going to end up in the same position. It's going to look a little different with the footwork. It's not going to be as clean as this. But what happens is you're going to get the same result when you play Madden 24, when you play quarters coverage, which turns into box. So you're going to get the same result. So it seems like the producers, the game makers, the developers, whoever, they knew there were problems. They knew there were a lot of one-play beaters and quarters. So they're trying to eliminate it. Or even, in my opinion, sometimes I think they're just trying to make the game different to make us have to like learn it again. So it's cool because I'm here for you. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to let you know what I see. Now, let's jump into another situation that is different. And I was talking to, one of my guys on Discord. We have a good relationship. We talk about football. He's a knowledgeable person, and him and I go back and forth and talk about stuff. He asked me, "Did you see any differences in 3x1?" I said, I couldn't really tell. Let me see what's going on. I want to take a look at, we have to look at Madden 23. But let me just take a look at, let me see if I have a good example of this. We'll just go with the clear out play right here versus quarters. All right. So we're going to get quarters. We know this, the corner, he's keying 2-1, right? He's playing mod technique. I'm sorry, 1-2. So if one comes under in 10 yards, he's basically using that again. He's using that match to man principle, which is what we've been learning over the past 2 years on my channel. So basically, you only cover, this is to the strength of the formation, to the passing strength. You only cover one if he goes past 10 yards. Anything else, just play your quarters and look to help out on number two. So that's how he plays it, right? So if we watch this play, one comes under, we're going to get that result right here, and the corner is going to back off and help out on another route. It's kind of hard to go do against the computer. Let's take a look at it one more time. But this is a clear under route, so he should help out on number two. He should be thinking corner route. He should be looking for that, right? He shouldn't be jumping anything else. He kind of jumped that dig right there by number two. But basically, that's what happens. Now, that's an under route. And to me, this is consistent, even though he's kind of driving. This is kind of consistent when it comes to looking at the corner. This is consistent to Madden 24. If one comes under and your corners are playing off like this, they're going to back up and try to help out on number two. All right, so that's the beginning of what I've seen. However, let me look at one more route here. Let me look at a hitch. So it's an under route, but he's just stopping. He's waiting. He's not running across the field. He's not running a shallow route, right? So when we see that happening here, a hitch, shock or H option, in this current Madden, the corner should fall off and help out on any type of deeper route. And you know what? It's funny because I played enough of this. I don't really play quarters a lot to cut 3x1. But this corner is actually, let me look at it one more time, because this corner actually is playing similar to how it was playing in Madden 24. And the thing is, Madden 24 I've seen this before. I'm not trying to like play EA, but they will make changes to quarters coverage technique in the current game and not tell you. It would happen randomly. So if you guys see it, say something. So they actually look like they might have made the same change already in this game, and maybe I missed it earlier, but I think there's a chance in the past couple months they made the same change. They got it ready basically for Madden 24, and now this is how the corner's playing. So let me talk about this. This is a mod corner. This is an under route. It's something under 5 yards. Most of the time, some teams have a smash call for this, which would take the nickel and have him work out to be underneath number one right now. If the corner says smash, right? And the corner basically play his quarter, outside quarter, and help out on number two, which would be this fade route right here. But I've seen this a lot. The 3x1 corner is actually coming up and kind of like playing, especially hitch routes. It's like he attacks the route early and then he kind of goes back late. And this is what I've seen a lot in the Madden 24 beta is that the corner is coming up and then going back. All right, especially on hitches. If it's an in route, he'll soften up and he'll just play deep, right? He won't necessarily attack an in route, 5 yard in, a shallow, or anything like that. But when you get hitches like this, they kind of step up on it like this, and then they go back late, which puts them in no man's land. So where I saw this really heavy was, and you're gonna probably see this a lot going into Madden 24, is going against a trio type of formation. Okay, so let's take a look at Trey. Let me try to find a classic levels play with a corner. So I call it Indy 7. Some people call it Buffalo 7. Doesn't matter. All right. So over here to the left side of the screen, we got a mod corner in Madden 23. As soon as that guy comes on, as soon as number one comes under, he's just fall back and help out on the corner route. He does it pretty naturally there, right? In Madden 24, he does the same thing. So I think that's the same. But let's say I think this playbook got the right playbook for a reason. Let's run. I wish I could put them in hitches. I don't have it here. Hold on one second, guys. Let me just see if I have it in another formation. Here we go. Perfect. So it's the same idea, except 1 and 2 are running hitches. 3 is running a corner. And the corner, is he going to program the same way? He kind of attacks the corner and then gets back late. Yep. So that's been in the game, obviously, I guess, in Madden 23. I probably failed to recognize it because I don't play a lot of quarters to 3x1 or 3x0 tray formations. I don't play a lot of quarters to this. I play more cover. I play more palms. I play cover 6. I do some other things. But in general, this is a problem, and this is still a problem in Madden 24. When one hitches, that smash call, the corner gets caught in no man's land. So I really hope that they fix that. And I will say this. I'm going to try something real quick as I'm on defense. I'm going to press. All right. And I noticed in the beta that if the corner gets hands on number one, he would just stay with them. But here he goes back. He didn't get hands on number one. So if he does get hands on number one, he goes through his same thing where he kind of like comes up and then kind of goes back late. I've seen that happen. But if he gets hands on him, like an actual press animation in the beta, he kind of goes back. He kind of basically just stays on this guy. Maybe it's just a timing thing. And the hand play in the beta seems a lot more, even more violent, and there's more intent when guys get hands on people. The reactions are a lot different. So I'll just say that I think the corners are kind of stuck in this no man's land situation to 3x1 if you're playing quarters, the strong side corner, the passing strength corner. And as I'm watching the film from 23, it's a problem here too. So maybe it's really just the same thing. Be aware of that. Think about calling other coverages besides quarters to 3x1 and 3x0. And if you don't, my suggestion, just a quick tip, is to play with the nickel. That's what I usually do. I usually play with the nickel and quarters. And I try to basically play more of a true zone technique where I'm trying to get back in that window for a corner. I'm trying to like play I forgot what they call it, like a V cut. I'm trying to sit back and get underneath a corner route and then react down to maybe a ball thrown in the flat late. That's kind of like my mindset. If I get the Indy 7 play, I'm a little bit screwed because obviously number 2 is going to be running across the field, and that's, there should be a middle linebacker there. Sometimes he is, sometimes he's not by the computer. But that's what I usually do if I play the 3x1 and quarters. I'm trying to basically kind of help out with that nickel. All right. That's it for today. That's part two. We'll see where we go in the next stage of this thing. May not be a whole lot left, and they might even patch the beta. They might be making changes as we go. So we'll see how it goes, man. But I just want to get this video out. This is not the final video. We're gonna have to talk again and again. But I just want, if you're bored at this time of year, you want to see what's going on. I'm trying to give you guys little things that I'm putting down in my notes, so that when the game drops in 2 months, we can kind of like attack it right away and say, hey, did they fix that? Did they fix that? Did they fix this? No, this is where we are, and we'll go from there. All right. Hope you guys appreciate it, man. I usually don't talk about, subscribing and all that, but yo, hook a brother up. You know what I'm saying? If you like the stuff, I'm giving you stuff that some people make you pay for. I ain't gonna lie. That's just the way it is. But I'm not here for that reason. I just want you guys to enjoy the videos and learn something, and we can just talk ball. If you ever want to talk in more detail, Geronimo22 is my name on Discord. Hit me up, and on Twitter, Geronimo223. Just hit me up. We can talk ball, and the more guys that I can, be around that are knowledgeable of the game or want to learn. You don't even have to know what I know, but again, want to learn. We can learn together. All right. Talk to you guys later, man. Peace.